And these pronouns. What the is with the pronouns?
You used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And
5 actors that challenged woke Hollywood. These 5 actors do not shy away from challenging woke Hollywood. Let's start with number 1, Kurt Russell. During an interview, Kurt Russell recently stirred up the conversation by openly criticizing woke culture and discussing gun control. Known for his iconic roles in movies like Escape from New York, Russell shared his views on how Hollywood often tackles gun violence in films while being overly politically correct elsewhere. He expressed his belief that gun ownership is a fundamental right and that restricting access won't solve the deeper issues behind violence. In a chat with journalist Jeffrey Wells, Russell emphasized that simply banning guns wouldn't prevent those determined to cause harm. He highlighted the importance of responsible gun ownership and the need for honest discussion about the right to bear arms. Russell's strong stance and support from others like musician Ted Nugent suggests that he sees gun rights as vital to personal freedom. Overall, Russell argues that gun control measures often need to be revised, calling for a more nuanced approach to the topic.
The last thing I like to watch is entertainers or actors get political. It's just something I can't stand watching.
Kurt Russell strongly desires to bring traditional values back to filmmaking, teaming up with Sam Elliott and Clint Eastwood to create an anti-woke actors union. Their goal is to revive the spirit of classic westerns, focusing on honest and straightforward storytelling that connects deeply with audiences. This initiative has sparked conversations in the entertainment world about the current direction of Hollywood, particularly regarding the emphasis on progressive values in film narratives, which some believe distracts from the art itself. Russell and his collaborators aim to reclaim the essence of old-fashioned storytelling, reminding viewers of the power and simplicity of tales that resonate without agendas. This movement is a significant push against the modern trends in cinema, advocating for narratives that prioritize authenticity and tradition.
What's going on with this country in general nowadays? Does that mean like your generation? Seriously. Come on. And these pronouns. What the is with the pronouns?
Number 2, Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais, known for his unapologetic humor and sharp wit, has made a name for himself by challenging the norms of political correctness, especially in Hollywood. His rise to fame began in 2001 when his British mock documentary The Office became a hit, marking the start of a successful career in television and comedy. He went on to create Extras, star in Hollywood films, and sell out comedy tours, often working with his creative partner Stephen Merchant. But what sets Gervais apart is his fearless approach to controversy. One of Ricky's key beliefs is that just because someone is offended doesn't mean they're right. He argues that offense is subjective. What bothers one person might not bother another, and try to make everyone happy is pointless. In his words, you end up pleasing no one. This attitude has been central to his comedy, where he pokes fun at sensitive topics without holding back. He believes humor should push boundaries, even if it makes some uncomfortable. Gervais' infamous moments came while hosting the Golden Globes in 2010 and 2011. He didn't shy away from mocking Hollywood's elite, often calling out their hypocrisy. Many were shocked by his bold jokes, but he remained unfazed by the criticism. Ricky is also outspoken about celebrities using their platform to preach about politics or social issues. He believes they should stick to their craft rather than act like experts on every topic. Ultimately, Ricky Gervais thrives on controversy and isn't interested in playing it safe. His ability to make sharp observations about fame, hypocrisy, and society has kept him in the spotlight, admired by some and criticized by others. But one thing's certain, Ricky isn't changing his approach anytime soon.
Just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right. You know, it's... offense is about feelings, and feelings are personal. Some people are offended by equality. So what? You know, so you can't second guess people. If you try and please everyone, you'll please no one.
Ricky Gervais didn't hold back when he took a jab at Leonardo DiCaprio's dating life during the Golden Globes. He joked that by the end of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, DiCaprio's date was too old for him. Even Leonardo laughed. But the real shock came when Gervais added that even Prince Andrew would think DiCaprio's date was too young.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, nearly 3 hours long. Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him. So... even Prince Andrew's like, come on, Leo, mate, you know. You're nearly 50, son.
Coming in at number 3, Bill Maher. Bill Maher stirred up some strong opinions recently during his appearance on The View. Known for his sharp wit, he criticized what he sees as the excessive use of woke culture, claiming it strayed too far from traditional liberal values. Maher highlighted how modern interpretations of wokeness often conflict with the principles that liberals once championed. He pointed out the irony of historical figures like Abraham Lincoln being shunned in today's discussions, which he believes reflects a troubling trend within woke ideology. Maher expressed frustration over how this new wokeness seemed to lead to absurd actions, even likening students protesting with Hamas flags to a serious issue. His comment sparked a lively debate, showing how divisive the topic of wokeness has become. Maher's calls for a return to honest discourse emphasizes the need for meaningful conversation in today's media landscape.
In the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected. So I was surprised to hear you use the term because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the Black community to note that we must be aware of social injustice.
Don't tell me that the left hasn't changed. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Bill Maher recently took a strong stance against Hollywood's handling of gun violence during his show Real Time with Bill Maher. He pointed out the irony of the film industry being very woke about social issues while still churning out movies that glorify gun violence. With a clever quip, he noted that Hollywood hates the saying about a good guy with a gun, yet keeps making films with that exact plot. Maher shared clips from popular movies like Top Gun, Maverick, and Deadpool, highlighting the troubling similarities between action films, revenge themes, and the motivations behind school shootings. His comments come amid growing calls for gun reform after tragic events like the Uvalde school shooting.
When liberals scream, do something after a mass shooting, why aren't we also dealing with the fact that the average American kid sees 200,000 acts of violence on screens before the age of 18? And that, according to the FBI, one of the warning signs of a potential school shooter is a fascination with violence-filled entertainment. It's funny, Hollywood is the wokest place on earth in every other area of social responsibility. They have intimacy coordinators on set to chaperone sex scenes. They hire sensitivity readers to go through and edit scripts. Disney stood up to the Don't Say Gay law. Another studio spent $10 million to digitally remove Kevin Spacey from a movie. But when it comes to the unbridled romanticization of gun violence, crickets. Weird, the only thing we don't call a trigger is the one that actually has a trigger. If you make a movie today, you can't show bullying, fat shaming, slut shaming, girl chasing, gay baiting, ethnic stereotypes, or underage hookups where drinking is involved. You know what we used to call comedies. But those things are bad, and everyone knows you can't platform bad things. You know what you can still platform? One guy who's the hero getting over a grudge by mowing down a multitude of human beings. Because no impressionable young male would ever imitate that. Now, the usual suspects on the far left will say that I'm delivering some sort of conservative rant here or that I'm undermining gun control. No, it's neither. It's just what's real. There's a pie chart of why mass shootings happen, and we don't know exactly how much of each of the pieces is responsible, but the major ones are mental health, that is, broken young men who feel like losers and want the world to hurt like they do, easy access to guns, kids having smartphones, which makes losers feel even worse because of the bullying and all the fake lives that look better than theirs. And yes, crazy amounts of gun violence in movies and TV. We don't show movie characters smoking anymore because it might look cool and influence children, but you're telling me these cool dudes don't influence them? They say the success of Top Gun Maverick will be a great boost to Navy pilot recruitment. Great. But then you can't say it's just a movie when it's this.
Now, number 4, Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt, beloved by many for his roles in Parks and Recreation and Blockbuster, hits like Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic Park has recently stirred up discussion with his take on woke culture in Hollywood. Known for his humor, Pratt brings a lighthearted approach to even the most serious topics. However, his latest comments have sparked both applause and criticism, shedding light on the cultural divide in Hollywood. The outsized outrage against Pratt begs the question, do they hate him because he's openly and unapologetically Christian?
God is real. God loves you. God wants the best for you. Believe that. I do. Learn to pray. It's easy and it's so good for your soul. And finally, number 9, nobody is perfect. People are going to tell you you're perfect just the way you are. You're not. You are imperfect. You always will be. But there is a powerful force that designed you that way. And if you're willing to accept that, you will have grace. And grace is a gift. And like the freedom that we enjoy in this country, that grace was paid for with somebody else's blood. Do not forget it. Don't take it for granted. God bless you. Please get home safely. Thank you.
Chris Pratt's role as Mario in the Super Mario Bros. Movie sparked quite a controversy among the woke mob right from the start. Fans were divided. Some were upset that Pratt didn't attempt the iconic Italian accent. Many thought it would appear stereotypical or offensive. But when the trailer dropped, the criticism shifted. Instead of the Italian accent, Pratt's Mario sounded more like, well, Chris Pratt. This left some fans confused and disappointed, especially with the people like Tara Strong, who wished Charles Martinet, Mario's original voice actor, had gotten the part. In response to the backlash, Pratt kept his cool. He joked about the situation during an Instagram Live, even making a playful, exaggerated Mario impression to amuse the critics. Pratt then encouraged everyone to see the movie twice before forming any judgments, hinting that the movie's version of Mario, a Brooklyn-based Italian-American plumber, makes his voice make sense. Instead of bowing to the pressure, Pratt handled it with humor and charm, showing that sometimes it's impossible to please everyone.
Come watch the movie. Go watch the movie and then we can talk. I really think that, like, once you see the movie, and you know what? In all honesty, I think you probably need to watch it twice. I think that, in all honesty, the answer though is that this is a passionate fan base, and it makes sense. Like, I understand, I'm part of it. This is the soundtrack to your youth.
Yeah.
And you don't want someone to come along and cynically kind of destroy it as a cash grab with the movie. I fully understand that. You do not want that to happen. And there were so many hearts and souls and minds dedicated to making sure that didn't happen. And you saw the movie. It's really honors the video game. It honors the world of Mario, and is very promising as to like what we could expect over the next 10 years, like an entire universe of these types of movies. They're super nostalgic. They're really fun. It's Illumination, so they know what they're doing. And it's great because, I mean, especially for me now that I have kids, like, I have to see every animated movie, whether it's good or not. So I'm really grateful when a great animated movie comes out. And that's what this is. So thankfully, and hopefully there'll be more.
Is the Mushroom Kingdom everything that's as magical as we all hope it is?
It's truly magical, yes.
Yeah.
Not only that, I mean, this film does an amazing job of honoring the video game. And so, like, from the way they compose certain shots to the way they compose the music,
all the Easter eggs throughout the
thing, honoring the characters, pulling from that sentiment of our youth, but also basically every generation since the 80s who have all played the Mario games. Yes.
How great is Volume 3? How excited are you?
It's so good. It's so good. It's testing very, very well. It's James Gunn, was back to do the third installment, which is really rare in that type of space to have the same writer-director do all 3 movies.
Yeah.
He's continuing to refine his ability as a filmmaker, and it's really evident in this movie. It's emotional, it's powerful, it's super funny, it's really moving. It's got an incredible, I think the best soundtrack yet, which is saying a lot.
Wow, that's saying a lot.
It is.
That is.
It's a really fantastic movie, and I think fans of Marvel and of these types of movies are going to be really thrilled to be able to come to the theater and again be truly moved by one of these.
In another moment, Chris Pratt and his wife Katherine Schwarzenegger found themselves at the center of a different controversy when they bought a mid-century modern home in Brentwood, California. Their plan to tear it down and build a new house sparked outrage online. The woke mob again jumped to criticize, calling the home a piece of architectural history and accusing the couple of cultural vandalism. However, Pratt didn't back down. While critics argue that the house was in great condition and should have been preserved, Pratt reasonably pointed out that these homes, though stylish, were impractical, with flat roofs that leaked and outdated plumbing that were built for a different era. Ultimately, there were no legal protections to prevent the demolition. Pratt remained firm in his decision, again showing that he was not afraid to stand by his choices, even when facing public backlash. Chris Pratt again sparked controversy at the 2024 New York Comic-Con when he called out fellow actors for having bad attitudes on set. He expressed frustration with stars complaining about their jobs, sarcastically asking, "Oh, are you having a hard time living your dream?" Pratt emphasized the importance of professionalism, saying there's no room for negativity in Hollywood. He also praised his Electric State co-star, Millie Bobby Brown, for her kindness and dedication, noting how she rescued animals during filming. The film was set to release on Netflix in March 2025.
Yes, we I know, you're full of shit, you know. But yes, we met when she was very much a child, like at some awards thing, I think MTV Awards.
The Kids' Choice
Award.
Now at number 5, Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman has openly criticized Black History Month, describing it as an insult to relegating African American history to just 1 month of the year. He argues that it diminishes the significance of a rich and complex history. In an interview, he stated, "You're going to relegate my history to a month?" This remark sparked considerable discussion about the representation of Black history in American culture.
Black History Month you find
ridiculous.
Why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? No, come on, tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
Do you want one?
No.
I don't either. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism?
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman.
In a well-known interview, Morgan Freeman suggested that the best way to fight racism is to stop talking about it so much. He believes that labeling people by their race only deepens divisions, a view that has sparked praise and criticism. Recently, Freeman announced that he would stop narrating documentaries expressing frustration with what he calls the woke crap in the genre. This marks a big change for documentary fans who loved his iconic voice, which has added depth to the films like March of the Penguins and Through the Wormhole. Freeman's narrations have made complex topics accessible and engaging. However, he worries that industry's focus on progressive themes compromises the objectivity that documentaries should uphold. While many celebrate this shift towards social justice, Freeman's concerns highlights a growing divide and how stories are told in today's media landscape. If you thought those actors made waves, wait till you see Joe Rogan obliterate woke culture. It's raw, it's real, and you're going to want to see every second. Watch it now.